when we need to increase or work harder on our different metrics. So there is no one way to determine success in this organization. It's really just, a bunch of metrics that we have. Let me try this once more. There we go. Okay, awesome. So basically, our community saved about $5.5 million this year. That's just from our active card holders, and that's what the previous statistics will actually turn into. We save the community money and time, we improve lives, and this helps our people to find a sense of community. So just in terms of, books and magazine borrowings, it's almost $2.3 million. Our digital downloads, which are also going up each and every year, that accounts for over $1 million. And things like our computer usage or museum fees saved also contribute to this number. So all told, if you are looking at what the rate of return is, our rate of return is almost 90%. Did that one right? Now goes to the end. I get it. Okay. It's the other button. Gotcha. So what we found in the past several years, especially since COVID, that an investment in the community definitely enhances our Franklin Square community experience. Our library continues to be a vital gathering space for all ages, from monthly game nights, groups using our meeting spaces, teens hanging out after school, teens participating in kindness activities, seniors gathering to play games, and we have adult walking classes. I didn't even mention exercise classes. We have a robust offering of programs in the newsletter, which we mail out 5 times a year. And in comparison to a school district, our organization is a birth to senior organization. The schools are, of course, K through 12. So you can see that this was one of the kindness programs. We partnered closely with Howie's Heart. We were really excited to be on the ground floor of their development as a non-for-profit organization, and they brought so much to the community. You can see always with our little ones, this was, I believe, either Halloween or our Thanksgiving Day parade. So this is basically an overview of what we have done this current year in terms of modernizing our services. So the key accomplishments that we've had this year are our museum passes. We're always evaluating the value of these museum passes. We are actively providing coupons, which are a significant discount to the community at no cost to them. And we were happy to announce that our most used pass, which is the Long Island Children's Museum, finally went digital, and so all of these digital passes mean that families have more opportunities to go. So you reserve it for the day you intend to go, which potentially means that this pass can be used almost 365 days of the year, depending upon the museum, with no overdue fees. We have also created a new lounge, which is really just a food-friendly area in the front of the library. This had no impact on the taxpayers, and it was a pretty minimal investment. I will say that we were before this, James and I were finding chicken bones for chicken wings in the aisles. We were finding half-eaten pieces of pizza. Banana skins, you name it. So we just wanted to be able to recognize that our students are coming from Washington Street and from Cary, John Street as well, coming to 7-Eleven and then coming to the library because they are here waiting for their parents to return home. So we provide the safe space, and we wanted to have at least an area that was easier to clean so that we could then also monitor them. We're also thrilled that we were able to partner with Senator Kenzan Fitzpatrick to provide free Narcan kits as well as testing kits. The library is more than just books these days. We are also part healthcare, we are part legal advice. We do have legal services that come in once a month from the the Nassau County Bar Association to meet with patrons one-on-one about their legal issues. We've also been modernizing the patron experience. So a few months ago, we unveiled our new ADA compliant website, which is much more pleasing to the eye, easier to view on your mobile devices, and is, generally speaking, pretty darn good. We have one staff member who had been working on it for a long time, and kudos to her. I can also thank James and the rest of the staff. James is my assistant director. We've completed our RFID conversion. RFID means radio frequency ID tags. So every item in the library within the past, I guess it took us about 7 months, pretty quick. 7 months for about 100,000 items to be tagged with a radio frequency ID. And we will be able to go live soon. We will be having security gates. This was a big impetus in the last budget, or this current budget that we're in right now. Because the library did not have a security system before, and we found that there was a lot of shrinkage in our collection, which can be very frustrating. We also were able to, again, thanks to James, implement credit card payments at the circulation desk. This allows for easier payment of museum passes, easier payment of fines, easier payments to even print on our internet computers. So we just implemented this in January, and we are looking to expand on that service. We've also been behind the scenes. These are not the sexy things, but these are the necessary things, modernizing our building operations. So we are installing brand new digital cameras, and this is really to protect the safety of the staff as well as the safety of our patrons. This is a crazy world, and the school districts are basically always in a lockdown, meaning that you have to show your identification, you have to sign in at a desk, you have to wear your badge in order to say that you were a valid visitor to the school district. You also have security personnel there. We do not have those things here in the library, so we do have workarounds, which is a camera system that only James and I can monitor. We also, what else did we have? We had something else. What did we have? Blanking. We did install keypads on at least our staff area. We're hoping to expand on that as well. We upgraded our fire and burglary system so that when we're not here, the building and its contents are protected. That was a big modernization that we did in September. This also works via cell phone service in case the telephones go down. So we were very happy to upgrade that security panel and work with a new company. We also went to a new telephone system back in December. This was a great investment. Again, no cost to the community. This came out of our capital fund. This was an upgrade to our telephone system that allowed us to end our partnership with Verizon, which was incredibly expensive, and be able to have crystal clear service and not any more drop calls. We were finding with the old system there were a number of drop calls. So these are our actual budget realities. And please don't judge a book by its cover or a library by one number. So to compare us to the other 54 libraries in Nassau County, the Franklin Square Library, again, does more with a relatively minimal investment. I know that almost $3 million can sound like, an amazing amount of money. But if we look at the median support in Nassau County of all the libraries, they pay the median is $137.76 per patron. The Nassau average cost of library services is $144.33. And your library, Franklin Square, averages at about $106.11. So you can see pretty graphically that we are very competitive with other libraries, and we do more with what we have than a lot of other libraries do. You can also compare this to the wallet metaphor, that a library budget isn't just the total balance, it's a list of bills. Inflation and global economic pressures made for a very tight budget for this coming year. Seeing the $3 million in the bank without knowing the obligations is like seeing money in a wallet without knowing that you have to pay your mortgage. So we have in our budget mandatory expenses, which are our personnel, utilities, and of course safety. We've had inflationary pressure with rising costs of custodial supplies, periodicals, mailings, postage, and more. And it cut off on the bottom, but I can read it. Sustainability, ensuring services are not interrupted by cash flow interruptions. We try to be extremely accountable to our community. So we have annual professional audits to ensure the highest standards of fiscal integrity. The library financials are audited by an independent outside accounting firm every year. And that report is always available on our website. You scroll all the way to the bottom, it's usually in About Us. You will see the actual auditors auditing our financial numbers to see that we are doing okay and that we won't go broke. You know, there's a lot of insolvency in school districts and in libraries across the state, and they're usually, warned that they are in trouble. And we are luckily, with our good financial planning and our board, doing very well. So we have internal controls and we have third-party verification that public funds are managed with absolute precision and legal compliance. And like I said, the link is there we just completed our last audit, and we are in the cycle again to pull lots of papers so that they can evaluate our financials this year. So part of the number, we can say that we have money in our capital fund, in our super savings account, if you will. This is the number that I'm obligated to keep just to ensure that the bills are paid, just in case the school district isn't timely with their reimbursement of their tax checks. So when you pay your taxes 4 times a year or 2 times a year to your school district, that disseminates to us as a monthly payment from the school district. So the school holds on to the money and then they dole it out to us. So we are obligated to keep at least 4 months of operating expenses in the budget, and that constitutes almost $1 million. Then we have our long-term obligations. I've been talking about the roof for a long time. I know some people are sick of it, but it is such a complicated situation, and I went into a lot of detail at the last board meeting. We have some federal funding that we have been able to obtain, but the aging facility requires at least $3 million in critical infrastructure repairs to our current roofing situation. Then we also have a $3 million liability. This is really because of our obligation to our retirees and our upcoming retirees. We have health care for them. We have paid into the retirement system for them, no different than the police, no different than the fire department, no different than your sanitation. These are all and the teachers, all organizations that are covered by pensions and have obligations to their retirees in retirement. I don't have to pay this bill right away, but if you calculated how long somebody is going to live and how long we would have to pay for them, that is the actuarial number. Then we have our personnel, which is more than the building, more than our collection, our personnel are our greatest asset. So salaries, you'll find, is always the largest expense because the library cannot exist without people. We have excellent people that are specialized in different areas and provide invaluable customer service. And we've been able to fill key vacant positions to restore service levels. Then we also have our staffing and customer service. We finally completed our union negotiations this past year, which was a big relief. We were able to hire a full-time account clerk after a couple of years of not being able to obtain somebody. And we were also looking forward to tomorrow is her first day, a new program librarian. So our fiscal responsibility is really very clearly laid out. We have the tax cap, right? The New York State basically says that government organizations, we being one of them, school districts also, have to stay within either the rate of inflation or 2%. Basically inflation is a lot higher, but we're capped at about 2%. There are some differences. You'll see that our budget goes up to between 2.3 and 2.4. That's accounting for us living on Long Island. Downstate people just have higher expenses than upstate people, and so that 2% is always modified a little bit by the location in the state. To protect ourselves in case I make a math mistake, and I'm capable. If I'm over by a few cents, if I'm over by a few dollars, and actually I had misprinted the budget and reissued a statement to the community's benefit, it was $2,000 less, but to ensure that we are compliant with New York State law, the board will have what they call a tax cap override motion. That way it covers the library just in case we decide to go over budget. We very rarely do that. So the 2.4% basically means that our budget is just shy of $3 million. The proposed tax increase is always fiscally conservative. I have a very fiscally conservative board who has a great appreciation for the community, how much money you're paying in taxes, and wants to be able to provide as much as we can, and keeping our increases minimal. However, the increase this year is less than the cost of 2 slices of pizza at Carmela's. They have good rates right now. We can go over this more, but this is mostly located in your handout. This handout will include more detail about, the percentage changes as well as the rationale for them. I will accept questions at the end of the presentation. Basically, you can see that we were down 40% for telephones. That was because we severed our relationship with Verizon, and our monthly bills were down. Our anticipated receipts, that's basically our interest in the budget, went up significantly. I can say that's due to better investment strategies. We've been shopping around for CDs in order to, we can't just invest the library's money in the stock market. We have to very carefully invest our money in very, very safe returns. We don't want to ever risk the public funds. So CDs, federal bonds, those are the ways that we can invest our money in order to maximize it, and we have. The number for our consulting and service contracts went down about 66.5%. That was due to the full-time staff members that we were able to finally hire. You might have heard me talk about the difficulties with civil service before. Civil service tries to keep everybody on an even playing field, but it can be very difficult to find candidates. So we were ultimately successful with a couple of our full-time positions, and we were able to end our relationship with most of our outside contractors. The newsletter has gone up about 29%. This unfortunately is due to, production costs. You know, the cost of paper has gone up, the cost of, minimum wage has gone up, increased cost of mailing, due to the inclusion of all the apartments that we have in Franklin Square. So I can potentially mail 3 newsletters to one address because unfortunately I'm dealing with the reality of an apartment on the first floor, apartment on the second floor, and sometimes a basement apartment. And that's just the reality of the situation. Our consulting services and those contracts, I think I did that twice. Yeah, you found one mistake. So anyway, the tax levy increase is just a little bit over $75,000. So what is the future of the library, or what can we expect in this coming budget? With that grand 75,000 extra? Well, we have the critical challenges of the aging HVAC systems, and immediate upgrades to control humidity and to protect the collection. So, you know, we keep re-insulating the exposed ductwork on the roof. We do maintain all 10 HVACs, but there is normally wear and tear on these. We have replaced, I think, 3 of the HVACs over the last several years. And as another one goes, we will ultimately have to replace that. That's a short-term solution. Infrastructure update, I was able to obtain federal funding to the amount of $250,000 thanks to Laura Gillen. This was not the $3 million that I had, you know, been awarded, but did not actually see the funds from the year before. But we are very happy to accept grant monies. So when we are ready to, we will be able to use that to offset any costs. And the board and I are now planning for the next 50 years. So we've engaged with construction advisors and have been having preliminary conversations with architects to try to reimagine the library, to account for a lot of things like how relatively small our children's room is and hoping to expand it, how little storage we have, the overlap of the HVACs, and trying to envision the library increasing, because we've done nothing but see increases for the next 50 years. We've also completed environmental testing and we've received relatively good marks. We've had the building tested for mold, we've had the building tested for asbestos in preparation for any upcoming projects that we might have had, that we may have. So again, what are our plans for this coming year, not just 50 years in the future? We want to really redesign or reimagine the footprint of our growing facility. 20,000 square feet, believe it or not, is just not enough. We will be updating our public restrooms to be more ADA compliant, new stalls, new countertops, new sinks, touchless soap, touchless faucets, to have more of a hygienic experience. We will be updating our furniture. We were able to save a lot of money for a couple of years by accepting Oceanside's donation of chairs, some of which, if you have the upholstered chairs, those were donations. We did have them cleaned, don't worry. But they are also on their last leg, so it saved us money for a couple of years, but we will have to make those investments. We don't have enough table spaces. If you came to the library today, you can see that most of our tables are usually filled up. We will be, at the next board meeting, we will be finalizing our plans for the next phase of the RFID project, which is a self-check station. So it will be an option for patrons who want to have that kind of privacy, where they don't want anybody else looking at their materials, me included, and that will be an option along with the circulation desk. That will also require us to move our online public access catalogs. The lingo is called OPACs, but it's basically the card catalog on a computer. We will have to relocate those. And then finally, we're going to be instituting cloud-based printing. There's a new product on the market called Print that a lot of other libraries have had success with. So we're going to be implementing that so that from your phone you will be able to print and pay wirelessly or pay at the circulation desk in order to obtain your documents. So I'm open to questions, but please, even if you vote yes, which I'm hoping everybody does, even if you vote no, it's just important to exercise your rights as voters in America, and to please remember to vote at your local polling place on the 19th from 8 to 9 p.m. Thank you. I am open to questions if anybody has any.
Any questions? Wow.
If you think of some later, please let me know. My contact information is always at the circulation desk. I'm very responsive to emails. I do like phone calls from the public. I might not always be on the floor because everybody's yelling at me to get some work done, but I'm happy to come out and meet the public because this is your library. I'm just managing it for you.
All right, next item on our agenda is candidate statement. There's a misprint here, and I've already talked to Antonia, and I like to make sure women always go first. Something I was raised when I was growing up. So Antonia, if you'd like to go to the podium and make your statement.
Sure, thank you.
On why people should vote for you.
Okay. Good evening, everyone, and thank you for coming tonight. My name is Antonia Brew, and I'm running for the Franklin Square Public Library Board. As a lifelong resident and mother of 2 elementary-age children, I care deeply about our community and the future of our library. I hold a master's degree in school counseling and human services. I care deeply about our community and the future of our library. I also have professional experience working in finance and budget as a former director of finance at a private institution. I believe that a combination of educational insight, compassion, and responsibility can bring a well-rounded perspective to the library board. I'm passionate about creating more opportunities for students and families through expanded programs, academic support, and community events that bring people together. Most importantly, I want to be approachable, listen to residents, and help make thoughtful decisions that benefit our entire community. I'm truly honored to have your support on May 19th. Thank you so much for being here tonight.
And if everybody's on mind, I'll just stay here and talk. I think you can hear me in the back. Anybody can't hear me in the back? You got a good teacher voice from my 35 years of teaching. So good evening, everyone. Most of you know me or see me around the library at various events. My name is Bill Youngford. I've raised a beautiful family here in Franklin Square, 2 daughters, and I've served on multiple boards and committees from different public organizations over the years, and helping improve the community that I love and have a passion for the many years I've served as a library trustee. And the proof of that is all around you in this building. I've always felt that a library is the heart of a community. In this diverse world, a library is a place of knowledge and fellowship for everyone, regardless of race, creed, color, age, or personal politics. So allow me to share with you a few recent accomplishments that we've managed to bring forth. We've created a second large meeting space upstairs, which has been used by many community groups, the library, and the Friends meetings. The cost of this, I'm happy to say, has been zero to the citizens of the community. We've expanded our children's teen and adult programming to serve the growing needs of our community. In the past year alone, we've offered over 4,000 programs and events. And I'm also happy to say that programming and events for our seniors has increased also dramatically. We're installing a new security camera system, you heard about that already, which will provide a safer and more secure environment, especially students who depend on our library for after-school studies. RFID tags, we mentioned already, have been installed on our books, and self-checkout is coming soon. We've upgraded our computers for youths and adults to use in the library and have over 50,000 uses of those computers. We are up significantly in new library cards issued, physical items borrowed, and visitors in our library from last year. Our community has saved over $5.5 million last year by using the library and its services. Isn't that something? That's money back in your pockets. And somehow, myself and other trustees, along with our wonderful library director, have managed to do all that and more on an extremely modest and fiscally responsible budget. But there's more to do. Our community grows and changes. Our library must continue to evolve and move into the future. Our proposed library budget up for approval this year will enable the library to expand its offerings to children, teens, adults, seniors, and even further with new ideas for improving our library moving forward, some of which are already discussed tonight in the presentation. I'm asking for your vote so I can continue this work as your library trustee with transparency, dedication, fiscal responsibility, and a clear focus on what matters most. Seeing everyone in our community because the library is for everyone. Together we can keep our library strong, relevant, accessible for generations to come. So thank you, and please vote for Youngford on Tuesday, May 19th. All right, new business. The next item, do we have new business?
You know what, that was just a holdover.
Yes.
I don't.
Regular agendas. Okay. And period of public expression. Anybody have comments they'd like to make? Limited to about 3 minutes per person. Yes.
I have a question in reference to the running of the two candidates. The rules that are in place for, you're prohibited to putting things at at federal post offices. Candidate documents such as flyers, pamphlets, and posters are strictly prohibited from being displayed, posted, or distributed in federal post office lobbies anywhere on postal service property, and your things were seen there today.
I don't know who put it there, but I'm sorry. I don't know.
Okay.
Can I answer that? I have 3 family members in the post office. There's no specific rule that says you can't post. If you ask the supervisor or postmaster general, they can say yes or no. That rule changed.
Well,
So it's not updated on that. I know what you're looking at. I know this, my husband's on 46 years. I have a lot of people. I check in with everything over there to make sure when they do run, that they're following the rules, because I was a trustee myself. So I pretty much know the rules. They changed that rule. If Bill goes in and they say to him, you can't put it up, Bill can't put it up. That's the bottom line. So they have the discretion to do that. That changed.
So
I just wanted a clarification there.
It's a discretion for both candidates, then, right? One candidate.
Yes,
one
no,
candidate?
if they both want to come in and put something up, and they have to give them both. In other words, you can't say no to one and you
Right.
can't say yes to another. No, that's not allowed.
Makes sense.
Yeah, can't do that. So, I
Any
didn't
other
know.
questions?
And
Comments?
nothing's supposed to be done in the library neither, right?
No,
Correct.
no.
Okay.
I've not posted any signs.
You
In the
haven't given
library.
out any cards to anybody in the library?
I'll give them maybe cards outside the library to people. I think that's my right to be able to do that. I also posted signs in local businesses that are friends of mine.
I think they're questioning the thing on people's lawns in the neighborhood,
Oh,
if there is.
you can post signs on lawns, sure. I've seen Patrick Adamo's signs all around the community.
Yeah.
I've never met him, I hope he's a nice guy, will do a good job as school trustee.
We keep a tight rein on Bill, and, you know, we make sure that we tell him to go outside.
Well, he can't probably run too fast.
He ambles, you know, I mean, this man, like, has tons of power tools and, like, is always doing work on his house, so he manages to listen to me.
Sorry, I think we just need some new blood.
Any other comments?
I have a
Yes,
comment.
Jason.
For the people that I don't know and haven't seen around, I'm Jason Albino, I'm the president of the Friends of the Library. And Doreen, I've offered you before. I'm inviting all of you, come join the Friends. If you want to see new programs, if you want to see new events for children to seniors, that's what we do. We advocate for the library, we raise money for the library, If there's something that you have a question about, you're concerned about, you can ask Maxine. Maxine's the stickler. She keeps us all in line, all right? But seriously, I know there's a lot of different opinions and different points of views, but, you know, the library is for everybody, no matter what side of the political spectrum you're on, no matter what age, anything. The comment about new blood, I mean, Bill is always at every event, every Friends meeting, everything. I haven't seen you, Doreen, and you're a lot younger than Bill, I'm sure. I'd like to see you.
I'm a busy person, I'm retired and I'm living life and I travel.
But that's great, but that doesn't mean just because somebody's a little older than you that they can't get it done or don't have good ideas.
He's been
There were-
on the board a long time and my
Well,
personal opinion
that's
is
your-
I,
And this is America, you can have
That's
that
right.
opinion, and that's fantastic. But I would urge each and every one of you, please join us at the Friends. We can get a lot done here if we work together. That's always been our ideal for the Friends. It's not, it's not a private club. It's not a little gang of just people talking to themselves. We talk to everybody about everything. So if there's anything that you're not happy with about the library, I urge you, come and make a difference. Volunteer, come and make a difference. You're not gonna be at every single meeting, you're not gonna be at every single event. But it's one thing to have opinions and, have ideas, it's another thing to act upon them. So I would urge everybody to do that, and I more than welcome you into the Friends, all right?
Do the candidates accept questions? I have a question for both the candidates. Can you do this job without a personal agenda or be influenced by community organizations or riffraff or rumors that you hear in the community? Because if you don't have the facts and you don't come to board meetings and you don't ask around, then rumors start and it's not good for this community. And it's not good for this library. So if you can both do that, you've been on the board a long time, I know that. You're new, I get it, I've done it. I've been where you are. So you have to put personal crap, excuse my French, aside. Whatever you hear in the community, you ask. You come in, you ask a beaver, you ask a board member. Because that part, you have to be able to be objective to do this for 5 years. It's a long 5 years. It's not easy to do. It takes time. It's a commitment. So if you can't do the commitment and you can't do it objectively, I suggest you don't. That's it.
My work that I've done on the board for over 20 years speaks for itself. I don't think I need to say any more than that.
No, I did a term with you, so I know what you're about.
Okay.
So.
Any other comments?
I have a comment. What was your comment directed towards?
Making sure that people can do this objectively
I
and
would
not be
think so if she
influenced.
has 2 children from the community. She's
That's fine.
better
I'm
than
just saying,
everything.
as long as people.
I know in
use-
PTA she's active.
I
I know
was
she
sure
might be
that.
new, you might not see her at your events, but
Yeah.
she's around. She's very
Yeah.
active in the community and a
I
lot of
was more
things.
directed towards him because he's been here.
Well, it didn't seem that way.
Well, it has to be both.
Nobody's questioning your character, by
No.
the way.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well,
No,
that's-
I know I'm
that's
new,
what
I know I'm new, and I'm here,
No,
to
no,
give
I'm
a
not-
shot.
It's
Nobody-
commitment to
I-
here that I'm questioning. That's it
Yeah.
for both of you. That's it. Nothing personal. It has to be a
I've never
commitment.
seen you in the library, and while you're running, you haven't even come in here to introduce yourself, or?
No, I go to the library, I take my kids to
I'm here
the classes.
every day.
Yeah.
What do I do? I go to the library, I take my kids, I take them at least once or
Just-
twice a week
just
to take.
you
them
Have you
to
come to a
classes.
board meeting?
No, that's,
Before,
I'm here
before
now.
you before you chose.
doesn't matter if
What does
you're
it
here.
matter if I?
Nobody shows up to the board meetings.
Well,
You're
I
usually-
I came in
hate
and
to interrupt this
myself,
lively discussion. I think everyone is doing fine,
No,
and
it's 2-3 people.
it's the end of the meeting, there's no more questions up front. I think we're gonna adjourn, and you can go outside, you can do the discussion outside if you want to.
Thank you.
Need a motion to adjourn? Motion second by Lori, all in favor? Aye. Thank you all for coming, have a lovely evening.
Thank you.